Deb, I'm so glad that we get to do this. This is this is no way to make a living. It's too good.
I know.
It's really, really wonderful.
Spectacular.
So I'm really happy that we were able to come here on the beach. We got such a beautiful day on Amelia Island.
Yeah.
And I've just really enjoyed these first few phases of learning yoga with you. Could you tell me how you got into yoga and why this whole thing became a part of your life?
Yeah, it sort of took over my life in about 1998.
All right.
I had just had twins and
Okay.
needed something to keep my sanity, basically. My neighbor drugged me to a yoga class, and I never stopped. And it really just became my way of staying balanced. And I found that both physically and mentally, I was able to see things with more clarity and keep that balance that we're all craving with really everything: family, life, work, social events. So I stuck with it and wound up becoming a teacher, and now I just make it as much a part of my life as possible and love to share it with people.
That is awesome. Well, I'm certainly enjoying learning. I've been active my whole life, but I've never been maybe disciplined about my action. And I'm starting to get a little older, and I need to pay more attention to what I'm doing and be more deliberate about it.
Right.
So this is a great way. We learned some things today about how to begin the day and how to end the day, how to move the body so that we're relaxed. You pointed out, as I did some things, like how tight my thighs and my hamstrings
Right,
were,
right.
and all that stuff. You know, I'm fit, but I still need to be disciplined about exercise. Why is that important for everybody, not just a guy like me, but why is this important for everyone?
Well, I think the physicality of it is one aspect of that. You know, certainly we need to maintain movement in our bodies because our bodies atrophy, the muscles atrophy, the spine becomes stiff. You know, you can just see the transition as people get older, we start curling in on the bodies. So if we continue to create movement, we can keep the body agile and keep everything moving and functioning appropriately as it should, so
Right.
that we could live the long lives that we live now.
Right.
We weren't meant to live this long, but here we are. So, and it's also important to help us mentally.
Yeah.
So,
Well, when I think about some friends of mine, we're aging, and there's people that I see now in their 50s and 60s, and they're moving and they're doing more. But some of those things our bodies aren't meant to do as actively, but yoga seems to help
Right.
with being able to keep us doing the active things that we love
Right.
even longer.
well, it's interesting that you say that. Yoga was created, as you might know, thousands of years ago, and they created yoga, the yogis in India is where it was originated, so that their bodies could sit and meditate.
Oh,
And
okay.
we found thousands of years ago that the body doesn't want to just sit like this and meditate. So they created yoga to bring movement into the body so that we can sustain stillness.
Okay.
And you need to have that balance between moving and
Okay.
stillness, and that goes with really everything that we do.
Right. Everything always has to have that balance and counterbalance.
Right.
There's nothing ever that we can just do all one thing.
No.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So, you know, bringing stillness into your life alongside with movement gives you that perfect opportunity to find peace and clarity and let you tackle sort of the challenges and obstacles that we all face, both with work and family and everything that we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. When I get up in the morning and say I don't have time to go for a run, or I don't have time to go surfing, or now as I'm beginning to learn I don't have time to do yoga,
Right.
it is the opposite of the truth, you know.
Right.
When we look back on spiritual leaders in the past, they always separated themselves for time alone to focus and to think.
Right.
And so you're saying that yoga was really a physical activity to prepare ourselves to be still. Is that right? Am I
Right, right.
understanding you?
And I think it's more important now than ever, particularly here in the western half of the world.
Yeah.
We're all operating at a very high level of stress. About 85% of our doctor visits these days are due to stress.
Really?
So how do we combat stress? Well, we know we can exercise, and
Yeah.
that helps. But if we find time to be still and find time to be mindful about our present moment, then that gives us the opportunity to perhaps decrease that stress and find a little peace, really. We can't continue to operate in fight or flight. That's not healthy. That's what's leading to disease. And this is an opportunity for us to counter that.
So how does fight or flight relate to yoga? What does yoga have to do with exiting that like tensious
Right.
moment? How does that work?
Well, you've heard we talked a lot about breath in yoga, and that is the quickest way to reduce the cortisol levels and the adrenaline that's going on when you're in a fight or flight situation. Your
Okay.
body doesn't recognize that you're not fighting a saber-toothed tiger anymore. The
Oh.
chemicals are still produced in the brain that increase the heart rate, increase blood pressure, all of the things that need to happen to fight off that saber-toothed tiger.
I'm not encountering saber-toothed tigers,
No.
so why would I be generating?
Because we now encounter paper tigers. Does that
Okay.
mean something to you?
Yeah.
So, you're in a business meeting, you're in traffic, the same chemical reaction happens that sends our body into that fight or flight mode. So with yoga, we learn to breathe, and that shuts down that cortisol production, increases chemicals that allow the body to relax, which also can help the muscles relax and get you into positions that you wouldn't be able to sustain otherwise.
Really?
If you're sitting there doing sort of a like a deadlift breath,
Yeah.
you can't sustain that. So take a deep breath in and you let it go. And automatically our body starts relaxing,
Right.
and it's a better place to enter stillness.
Our bodies are amazingly designed. Whenever I get to study the body and think about like, oh wow, I'm made for this.
Right.
My body does this. Like even what you're describing, just breathing. My
Right.
body is designed to breathe, and it's
Yeah.
not just getting oxygen out of the air and putting it inside my body. If I do it purposefully, it actually can heal. It's designed to heal my body.
Exactly.
That's not supernatural, that's natural.
No, and very real. We can lower blood pressure, we can decrease stress, we can decrease insomnia. So many of us have problems sleeping. There's just so much that just the simple act of learning how to be mindful of your breath and becoming more aware of your bodies in space, all of that is part of yoga, but also part of mindfulness that's really attainable for all of us.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to begin this process with you. My second yoga session was our first yoga session just here.
Right.
And I've already learned so much in just these first few sessions. I'm excited to see where we'll go, and I'm hoping to watch these videos and look back and go, I can't believe I was that clueless.
Right, right.
And where do you want to take us in this process? What is your vision for teaching me and teaching others how to do this?
I really feel like, I became a teacher. I secretly call myself a yoga evangelist.
Okay.
Because I feel like it helped me so much in probably some of the most challenging times of my life.
Okay.
And we all have that. We all have challenges. And I feel compelled to share that knowledge and what I've learned with others. And then also, I'm never done learning. I'm continuing to train and learn and you don't finish yoga, you don't win at yoga, so I feel like there's just a never-ending process for me to learn how to share this with everybody. So thank you for being my student. I appreciate it. Namaste. Did we just talk for 20 minutes?
We just had an interview. Yeah, that was